Hey everyone, it's Josh, and today I want to do an episode of Surviving the Pavement. I haven't done one of those in about a week. And Surviving the Pavement is where I either talk about my past life as a homeless man or give people tips on how to survive as a homeless man. I have 10 years of experience with this. I spent 10 years in and out of the streets as a homeless man. There's been media stories about me and everything. I'll link them down below in a future video. I forgot to dig them up today, but either way, every once in a while I make a video about my life as a homeless man and give people advice and stuff. And this channel is basically about the landlord harassment I've been facing from Havercamp, but I don't want every single video to be about Havercamp, right? So I want to add some other stuff in, mix it up a little bit. Okay, so people have asked me, like, what's the best piece of advice that I can give them as far as if they're about to go homeless? How do they conduct themselves around homeless people? How do they fit in with other homeless people, and so on and so forth? And unfortunately, there is no one answer to that because homeless people are just there's too many different kinds of them. You have to feel out a particular crowd, right? One particular crowd of homeless people isn't going to be like another crowd of them. You know what I'm saying? So they all have their own nuances. They all have their own sort of vibe and rules of conduct that they live by. So you just have to feel out what the vibe is and go along with that. But I will touch on a big mistake that a lot of people make when they first go homeless, and this is a mistake that I personally made when I was first getting into homelessness and first having to live under bridges and everything like that. When you first go homeless and you're first meeting other homeless people and you're, basically trying to get connected with other homeless people, do not pretend that you have more street experience than you really do. I've seen a lot of guys come under various bridges and various homeless hangouts claiming that they've been down for 10 years, 15 years, and they're like 22 years old, right? And here's the thing about that: you can't fake having been homeless. Like you can't fake being a street person. If you tell someone, if you tell a real homeless dude that you've been out for 10 years or even 5 years and it's not true, he's going to know it right away. Right away. Very, very hard to fake. Very, very hard to fake that. It's almost impossible, really. I mean, and here's why. There is something about having been homeless for a while to where I don't know how to put it into words. There's just a certain vibe and a certain energy that you have that other homeless people can see. It's not in the way you walk. It's not in the way you talk, the lingo you know, how you dress, any of that. None of that even really matters. You can get by on that for a while. But there's something beyond that, something you can't put into words. It's like a soul thing, right? When a homeless person has been down for a while, he can tell when another homeless person has been down for a while. You can just it's something in the soul, in the eyes, in the energy that a person has that you can just see it. Um, I call it the why vibe. Uh, you know, uh, Homeless people are some of the very few people in America that have truly experienced how cruel humankind can be and how mean and nasty humankind can be. Because it's okay to hate us. So once you've experienced a bunch of just unnecessary crap for a couple of years, like you're sitting in a coffee shop and the barista kicks you out, even though you're not bothering anybody and you are a paying customer just like everybody else. Um, when enough people have called the cops on you and you're not doing anything except like sitting on a bench somewhere, once you go through enough of those experiences, I don't know how to explain it. Something happens and just you I don't know how to explain it, but you just know when someone else has been through a lot of those experiences. And so if you are not experienced as a homeless person and you approach a bunch of homeless people that you don't really know and you tell them that, you've been down for many years, I understand why people do this. They do this so that they don't get taken advantage of. But no, other homeless people can see right through it. Now, they're not going to call you out on it because you telling them that story isn't going to hurt them any. But what they are going to do is recognize that you're trying too hard to fit in. So they're going to be constantly trying to mooch stuff off of you, constantly asking you for cigarettes, money, whatever else. I mean, you're going to get that anyway, but it's going to be stepped way up when you try to come off like you're somebody you're not. You know what I'm saying? You come around, like, start sleeping under a certain bridge. You tell the other homeless people there that you've been down 5 years, 10 years, and you've really only been homeless a month. They all know it. Because again, there's an energy there that you can, when somebody has been homeless for a lengthy period of time, you can see that energy. It doesn't matter how a person talks or anything like that. You can just see it. It's something in the soul and the spirit. And if you don't have that and you're saying that you've been down for 5 or 10 years, people are going to take that like you're trying too hard to fit in. So they're going to use you. Or they're going to think you're a cop working an undercover story. And they're still going to use you because they know that undercover cops are trained to be extra nice to people that they're working undercover against, right? So don't do that. Don't try to fake. If you've only been homeless for a month, admit it. Just say, yeah, man, I got, kicked out of my parents' house like a month ago, whatever it is. Because this is one of those things that you can't lie about. It doesn't work. Will people still try to take advantage of you when you tell the truth? Absolutely. But it's going to be worse if you try to come off like you're this, street hardened dude that's been out there for a while. I would say, I spent 10 years in and out of the streets, and I would say that once you've been down a year and a half, maybe 2 years, I would say after 2 years, you've really fully developed that energy to the point where, you know what the energy of a homeless person is, and you can see it in other homeless people, right? Because, like I said, we've experienced the world's cruelty so many times that after a couple of years of that, that's when that energy sets in. And the look in a lot of homeless people's eyes that you think is wide and crazy, I call it the why vibe. What it is a big part of their brain is wondering why people are so mean to them all the time, even though they don't really do nothing to bring on people's meanness, right? So that's what you're seeing when you look into the eyes of a homeless person who looks confused, lost, whatever the case might be. Because imagine, even for you, like, if most of you have never been homeless, imagine if people started suddenly treating you like that. You're getting kicked out of coffee shops even though you're a paying customer and you're just sitting there quietly. You're being told that you can't enter into, a community swimming pool or whatever. You're getting turned down to go inside a motel room that you want to pay for and you're not sure why, and they won't give you a reason. Right? That's you're going to start wondering why people are treating you like that. And when you have like tons of experiences of like that, it battle hardens you in a lot of ways. And so, after a couple of years of that, I don't know, there's just a certain energy that's there to be seen. So yeah, don't try to fake that. If you try to fake like you've got more experience with homelessness than you really do, everybody who has any real experience with homelessness is going to see right through it, and it's going to cause you more problems than it's worth. That's all.